London. If you have never been in London, then I hope that this video can help you to make a decision on maybe where you should go, what's going to happen when you get there, how people are going to be, how's the transportation, what places you should go see, uh, everything you need to know. The people actually looking for. Are you a vagabond? Are you somebody who just likes to take it easy and do a lot of walking and exploration? Are you somebody who likes to do a lot of plane activity? Are you somebody who wants a guide to do everything for you? Or are you somebody who likes to pay the high price for things? Or you like to try a really nice restaurant once in a while? Or just really want to explore the nature, maybe the countries around London, north, east, west side, or maybe like to go on a road trip. I mean, there's just so many options. You partner? Are you coming with your children? Are you coming by yourself? Are you some kids? Are you young kids? This is your first time in London. I mean, if you're young, there's tons of pubs, and there's tons of theaters, and there's tons of meetup groups that you can do so you can have a good time. If you come by yourself and you're hoping to meet somebody, I don't think it will take, it will be that hard for you to get acquainted, really. If you start with meetups and then go to clubs, you should be able to meet other people. If you come by 2 or 3 people, I think it should be pretty easy to make some good acquaintances. If you're sharing a hotel, it'll be pretty easy. So one thing I found out about London, and within 10 to 20 miles radius, is that if you want to be in the center with everything around, and you are willing, but you have to be just one person, you're willing to go in a hostel, you get the best rate and you get free breakfast every morning. It includes Wi-Fi, TV, all this. So some rooms alone, most rooms are at least shared with one other person, and other rooms have 3 or 4 people in them. But they have places where you can lock up your stuff. So I know that there's also adults and older people who then found themselves later in life who wants to travel. The kids are all grown and now they decide it's time for them to go. And I know a lot of explorer and people who have gone on their adventure journey like this and just decided to save by and wanted to meet people, so they decided to just go straight to the hotel. So I think hotel in London, I haven't done it myself because as you know, I have a child, so I can't do this. If I had done it, I'm sure it would have been an easy way to make connection, and make friends faster. So they literally are 3/4 less than any other place, any other hotel out there. So it's a nice way to think about it. And the plus is that you're really close to either a metro, a bridge, or a bus that bring you straight to Westminster, the castle, London Victoria, the other side London Victoria, right on the bridge by London Eye, and just gets you to all those places pretty quickly. So, but the cheapest hotels you're gonna find, including tax, is going to be about 38 to 40, and they usually Travelodge. You can look and you might find some other ones. They're usually near Gatwick Airport, so you gotta go at least 40 minutes train from downtown, and then you gotta scroll in the surrounding city, such as places. Don't remember all the names of the cities down there, but I'll just look up Gatwick Airport and see. There's about 3 or 4 little towns around there, and so if you're willing to go a mile or two from Gatwick Airport, then you're gonna have more option for you stay. So you have to think, if you're staying 2 or 3 weeks, that's really gonna help. Um, if you're renting a car, that will be easier for you to get to. Now you also got to think about the train ticket you do have to pay for your round trip to go downtown. So, that can run from 20 to 30 bucks depending on the day. So that will add up the cost, but you pay $70 a night for your hotel stay. So you could always just plan 2 days there, or just go visit places that are close to downtown, so you get to see other places too, which will cost you only $10 maybe to get to. You can also take a bus once in a while. Bus would be relatively much cheaper to do. So if you have never been, you have to go really now. Like 10-15 years ago, it was probably a different experience than it is now. This is what I knew from 15-20 years ago, from my memories, were older memory. But when I came back in London for the first time, I was it blew me away how it had changed, and how beautiful it was, and how much there was to see, and how just so much beautiful structure to see. So if you love to see the structure of cathedrals and churches, and just the old buildings, and love to know memories, you want to you into theater, poetry, Shakespeare like I am, you absolutely gonna love it. You're gonna take the river cruise, or you're gonna take a cruise or Uber boat to cross over. That's something you should do. There's an old Russian ship there also. Um, you're never, almost never gonna be bored. From one side of the bridge to the other, you could just spend easily 2 hours, and always find something to do. Between the small strip malls to the Costa is the coffee shop, like Starbucks basically, and they serve it in a really big giant bowl. To some skate ramps, some um, uh, electronic stores, to art museum that are free. There's also a giant area with play area for the children's. And then if you take a bus through downtown just to go explore, 10-15 minutes will bring you to completely different area that are not touristic at all. That will bring you to lots of mall, lots of small river sites, just another places to work out outside. I mean, there's just so much to see. I get to take the train for 2 hours from north to south. I would take the train 5 times a week at least. Whenever I could, I at least did the bus once in a while. When I stay, there was Crawley. I stayed in Crawley for about 3 weeks, so I get to see the outside of London, the way people were living there, the people who commute just by buses, the life there, how you get your tickets. So, how you get your tickets in the bus, you usually have to go in person to get those monthly pass. Very restricted on the discounted pass, so you really have to have a special card, kind of like they do in US. Or you can just pay cash or just use your card. So one thing I never done before I got to London was to use you. If you have one of those cards, then you can just tap. You can tap your card at the train or metro station, and same for the bus. So what it is that you tap it, and then when you tap it again to exit, then it knows where you enter and where you left. So this is how they charge you. Um, So you want to make sure you tap out, because that happened to me. If I didn't tap out and I took a short train, then they will charge you for the maximum the entire ride. So that's another thing, like, people are not used to over there. It's this thing. There's a lot of sushi, a lot of tea places, a lot of pub, like I said. There's the park uh, around the castle is it's pretty large. It's a very large park. There you can see a lot of birds. There's a lot of activity going on. Lots of people days and night. You can see the garden from the castle. You can see lots of statue. You could just basically, spend at least easily an hour or two just walking around, and go back as many times as you can. Um, but yeah, that's just to give you a small aperçu. Even if you don't get to do everything, you should at least try one or two of the main activities, and then just walk around and explore, and then just vagabond around, taking the trains and the buses, and allow yourself to make mistake, to get lost. That happens. Sometimes you're gonna have to ask for direction, or you're gonna have that also happen. Also, if you buy things straight from the train station, they're always gonna cost more than if you just walk a little bit further and go to the stores outside of the trains. Anything outside of the center is always going to be cheaper. And always look, another thing that's really great is that they always have small stores with uh, 75% off or 90% off at the end of the day on on daily products, so sandwich and uh, sometime drinks. So instead of paying $3 or $4, you end up paying 75 cents for the same thing. And they do that daily, so there's not a lot of place to do that. So it allows you to have a good food without paying the maximum. And so it's nice because you can go have the best stuff and still sit down, in front of Big Ben and just watch people, with a skateboard or painting or a violinist or a guitarist. Or there's always something to do. If you go during manifestation, it's crowded, you can't even walk. If you go on a weekend, you see everybody going on boat on the London Eyes. A waiting line, it takes like 2 hours. There's always like amateur singers right there singing, people selling hot dog, ice cream, and then early morning, of course, there's that the Borough Market. That's something to do. Has tons of food, great stuff. It's just people line up just for $5, like a bean sandwich or a steak sandwich, or just something. There's fudge, there's cheese, there's just plenty of food. There's tacos. And yeah, there's also one of the oldest cells ever made, which is one of the street. There's the Shakespeare pub. The very first one was ever made. There's also history from both sides of crossing the London Bridge, go all the way to the end of the river and then back. Tell you all about the Westminster castles and the delegations, and then like the where it starts and where it ends. Tell you a little bit about London's history and and the Apostle and the Queen and all this. So you also have lots of ice skate rings on both sides, and then if you take a few, about 3 or 4 metro stops from downtown London, you have an area with Science Museum, Historic Museum, um, an ice skate ring, which we went there for Christmas. It was really uh, crowded. You had to wait an hour just to get in, but it was so worth it. Huge giant Christmas tree, light up, music. I mean, the whole full experience you get for Christmas. So, um, Same for the metro, just be careful, be, quick to think. Um, there's always great coupons for McDonald's. That's what I noticed there when I was there. It's like, um, I just picked up a pie and you literally could just buy meals for $2, so you would never think that would be something you could do because everybody think London, they think everything's super expensive. Um, anyway, I have so much to say about London and my stay. So if you have any question, comment, do it. But this is going to be it for now, and then I'm gonna have to do my next video on another country. So hope you have a good day.